Yes, so we have the recording. Hello, everyone. Today is our, I'd say, coaching and experience session from William, our experienced tutor coach, and he will share how to be a successful tutor, his tips and his hints for the past 20 years he's been in tutoring and teaching. And this is as part of our Workee Growth program, where we also like giving something back to the community and trying to motivate you guys by our examples we have and trying to also bring some more skills and some knowledge to you. So I'll our session is unmute. So we have a couple of participants. So you guys welcome to ask questions, communicate with each other. I'll be here managing moderating. And also, I guess moving to William. Thank you.
All right. Well, you mentioned that I've been tutoring for 20 years, and that's true, but I've only been a full-time online teacher for about 7 or so now, or somewhere around there. And I think that's an important point as well, is that sometimes being a classroom teacher or some of the things you learned about being a teacher in school doesn't always necessarily translate one-to-one over into the online teaching world. So I think that even for people who are experienced teachers, there's a lot to learn from anybody who has been doing so online for any period of time, because it's a very different world sometimes. So just a moment, and I'll share my screen, and we'll go through some of the things. I think you have to give me the power to screen share, Ihor.
Hold on just a second. Okay, more. Okay. Share screen. Yes. Please try again.
All right. All right, so what we're going to look at is we're going to talk about preparing for your first lesson, as well as some tips on how to convert those students that are your trial students into paying students in the future. And I'm not sure what everybody does, whether everybody's an English teacher, whether everybody is, or some people are teaching math, science, or I'm not sure, but I tried to keep it open to many possibilities. But of course, as I teach English and speech and public speaking, it's kind of leans in that direction. So bear with me if it doesn't fit exactly with it. And so this is the Workee Growth program that is new, and I believe I was one of the first people in the Workee Growth program that Ihor invited me previously before it started, and I think it's really great. I really do, and I think it's great because there is the option to do it or not. You know, when you join different platforms or you join other sites in some way, they have it set where this is how the site works. You take it or leave it, you join it or don't. But Workee has many options. You can join different packages, different you can join either as a from starting with the free package, and which now has Workee Growth connected to it, up to the pro package. And I really liked that flexibility. And so that's what drew me to Workee in the first place. And what I like about Workee Growth is that you don't have to stay in Workee Growth forever. It's to get you a boost, like a kickstart into becoming a successful online teacher, and then you do your own thing, and you're on your own. And I love that as well. So the first things that you want to do, if you haven't done so already, is when you start to build your website, you want to make sure that you have a professional photo and that you're smiling. But when I say that, it also depends on what it is that you are teaching or coaching on what that smile might be. If you're going to be teaching young kids and you're a teacher that is that's your style, where you're kind of a song and dance and visual kind of teacher, then you want to project that in your photo. You want a huge smile that shows them exactly what they're going to see in the class. If you're teaching business English, or maybe you're teaching math, you just want a smile that is warm and inviting, but you don't need to look like you're about to sing a song, since that's not what you do. So you want your photo and your profile photo to reflect what they should expect to see in the lesson, or at least what you want them to think that they're going to see in the lesson. And so you should put a lot of thought into doing so. And this is my photo as of right now. I made this down below. As you can see, it looks like my younger brother. I know I use some AI to help me with it, and but that's a great thing to do, and to make it that is the first thing that students see. And it makes a really big difference in the advertisement. If you look professional and it looks like a good photo that grabs their attention, they click on it. If it doesn't, they don't, period. Your profile photo is one of, if not the most important thing when it comes to getting potential new trial students. And so put a lot of thought into that. Make sure it looks good. It's not an afterthought. It's extremely important. You want to clearly state your name, your profession, and show what you do. There are, as you can see here, my background is in speech and hearing science. And so therefore I went with the speech doctor. And I thought that was a cool tagline for what I do, and gains people's attention. I've changed it over the years. It hasn't been like that for the whole time I've been teaching online. I switch it up here and there. I switch my profile photo up here and there. I'm constantly trying to make it better to grab people's attention. So you want to be doing so. You want your name clear and what you do, but try to find something that, again, grabs the attention of potential students. When you look at designing your web page, you are going to have different options that, for example, in my photo here, I have this orange border around it. A couple weeks ago, I had a purple border around it. So my website was purple. But now I have added this orange circle. So now some of the writing on my website is orange. I set it that way to match. It looks professional, and it shows attention to detail. And those things stand out to potential students. If your page looks sloppy, they assume maybe you're sloppy, or subconsciously assume it. They probably don't think it directly, but they will, it'll be in their mind when they decide whether they should choose you over someone else. Make sure you highlight your experience and skills. Talk about why students should choose your lessons, why they should choose you, what they're going to get from them. With that, and I didn't write it in there in this particular slide, but their pain points are very important. When it comes to gaining new students, that's one of the things you should be thinking about at all times. What are their pain points? How can you solve those pain points? And that's just in sales in general, no matter what you're selling. Identify the pain points and show them how you will solve them. And I think as far as a bad example, it goes without saying to say that an incomplete professional description not explaining your teaching role clearly, an outdated information where, as you can see in the picture, it just says, name, surname, private tutor, and a picture of this, funny looking cat down here. I think everybody can, pretty much figure out that that's not what you should be doing. You want to make sure that you fill in all the required information and make sure that you put some thought and effort into that and make it reflect what you do and what you do well. So make sure you go through every piece of your profile and make sure you fill it in correctly. So I won't spend too much more time there. Importantly, very importantly, your time slots. You should have 3 or 4 time slots. You need 1 time slot that's a trial, a free trial. So as you can see down below, this person, who I believe is Ihor, he filled out the free trial in math and trigonometry mastery, as opposed to my first 30-minute time slot. So obviously one of those is better than the other. And so a well-prepared call title and description. You want to craft the title and description that accurately reflect the lesson's content and student expectations. Emphasize your experience. Summarize your teaching background and relevant qualifications. This especially is important when you're teaching students that are of a higher level. When you're teaching students that have advanced degrees themselves or are CEOs of companies that want to make sure that their teacher is at least as experienced or as qualified as they are. You want to make sure that you show that because that will be a big difference on whether they decide to learn with you or not. Again, address the student pain points. Identify the common challenges your target students face and explain how you can help. I also recommend including social proof. Provide testimonials or reviews from your past students. So are all of the teachers here now, are you all new teachers or have you been doing so in the past?
I've been doing both classroom and online tutorial in the past as well. So I could get some of the like reviews from previous platforms.
Copy and paste them, just grab whatever good reviews you got from whatever other place you worked before, copy paste them in there, and if you're in contact with some of those students now, you could even get them to give you a nice review that you could post on your page. Even better, you can have a video on the web page, and in your video you can even show yourself teaching some of those students as well. But that's whether or not to have a video, that's a discussion for another time. So student reviews, I think that's, as you can see or should be able to see down below, but looks like you cannot. It changes the chance of converting that student by about 20%. So when they see that other people have taken your lessons and that they liked your lessons, you're already starting 20% ahead by them seeing that. A bad example, and as you can see, of course, my first 30-minute time slot. Give your time slot a name, give it a good description, and that's what students are going to see when they want to book your lesson. So you always want to be thinking about what are the students going to see from the student side. And so I like to go back and forth from what I'm adding to my web page and viewing the web page often to see what they're seeing. The rates for the meetings. This is a this is a tough area to really pinpoint what you want to charge and why. These are the different countries and the average rate for those lessons, but it varies depending on what it is you're teaching and who it is you're teaching. And no one can really tell anybody what price is good for them. You know, no one can tell anyone what they should be charging. What your time means to you and what the price that you would charge that for what it is that you are teaching, coaching, or providing is very subjective to the teacher themselves. You know, these are just average price lessons in different countries. Even some of them, I think I've taught a lot of students in Singapore, and for one student, whether they're at a higher level or not, $150 an hour seems rather high. I haven't met those students yet, and I've met some very important people in Singapore, and they weren't paying that price for single lessons, maybe for group lessons or for workshops and things like that. As far as, you know, the low side, Poland, for example, I have a lot of students for Poland, and a lot of them pay more than that at a high range, and I was able to fill my schedule months in advance for $15 an hour plus. So, you know, it's hard to say, you know, which price is right for you, but the tip down below that says $10 or $15 per hour is an average price for lessons in most countries. And if you had that price, you should have no problem filling your schedule. Whether you're willing to work for that price and that is a good price for you, that's entirely up to you. Jen, let me ask you, where you were teaching online for different platforms before. Do you
Yeah.
did you want to share which platform you've worked for in the past?
Yeah, well, I have a profile in Wisant, and then they also have this Remind 101 tutoring, but they got bought, so they're not existent anymore as of
Yeah.
4 days ago. And
Oh.
I also have like Class Dojo for younger kids, which sort of like the people from Remind, where if you'd like to continue working, you can try Class Dojo. And so that actually sort of got me distracted from my Workee thing, because they just gave us students upon students, assuming you have availability. But I'd of course like to prioritize Workee, because that would be my own thing.
What kind of hourly rate were they paying? If you
Well,
don't
for
mind my
Wisant, it's like this. You decide however much you want to charge. I started when my first ever, I moved from the Philippines here about 12 years ago. My first ever, I gave, I rated myself $15, and that was with Wisant. They have percentages depending on the number of hours that you have incurred in with them. So the first time is like 65%. You keep 65%, or less than that, or something like that. And then as you gain more hours, then like right now I'm at 75%. So they take 25% of whatever. But I charged $50, but I'm in US right now. So I think that's a normal rate. Relatively, that's still low, I think, for math. Or average, I guess it depends on which state, I suppose.
Yeah.
Class Dojo, on the other hand, I think they charge parents $30 for 25 minutes, and then they give us half of that. That's what I think.
It's pretty good. It's pretty
Yeah,
good.
so
I
it's like
mean,
30 hours for 50 minutes.
It's, you know, that's definitely, I you know, personally, I believe $15 an hour plus is okay, depending on
Yeah,
what
yeah.
it is
I mean,
what is you're teaching. Anything below that, I think is ridiculous. I mean,
Yeah,
I see a
because
lot. I see a lot
especially
of
if you had
places
to
out there.
prepare.
Yeah, and especially if yeah, you're doing everything yourself. You're you're teaching the trial lessons. You're giving the you're joining meetings such as this. You're you're preparing all your materials. Yeah, I mean, even if they were preparing everything for you, I see some people out there that are offering you know, less than $5 an hour or $10 an hour maximum if you qualify. And I mean, that's shocking. So it's I'm glad to see that everybody that is here on Workee and joining the growth program all has the opportunity to make more money than that. And hopefully places such as this put them out of business because those are just ridiculous prices. So anyhow, yeah, I think at $10 or $15 an hour being an average price for lessons doesn't necessarily mean that's exactly where you have to set your price. It's entirely subjective to what you do and what you think you're worth.
Well, just to piggyback on that, just like what you're saying here, you have different rates, right? My friend who also does the same thing, based in the Philippines, they're actually on different platforms. They're paid like $2 per hour.
Yeah, I've seen that.
So yeah, so it really depends on where you're from, because you know you have to factor out cost of living and stuff like that, and it is what it is.
But even if you're living in the Philippines and you're making you can be living in the Philippines, working here on Workee through the growth program and definitely getting
Yes.
paid more than $2 an hour. Where you're located shouldn't set the price to where you are, you know, what you're getting or what you're making. It should
Well,
be your
not
qualifications, you know,
not
and that's
for
how
if
they
you
do it.
are, yeah, not if you are with Workee because it's your own business, but I'm
Yeah,
talking
right.
about if you are with platforms where
Well, that's what I
they
mean.
are,
Yeah,
yeah,
that's how they get them. You know,
yes, exactly.
they say, you know, they say, oh, well, we're only offering this much money, and they say, why? They say, oh, because you live in the Philippines. And you know, they shouldn't have that kind of power in any way. You know, when you work for yourself, you set your price and you decide what you're. The next thing you should do, you have to set your availability. You want to check your time zone, make sure your time zone is correct, and sync it with Google Calendar if you have it. If you don't, you should get it. And put breaks in your schedule. I think that's really up to you. Sometimes I like to do that. Sometimes I don't. Sometimes I do the classes back to back, where that helps me go through them quicker in bursts. Sometimes I might have 3, 4, or 5 classes in a row, and then I'll have a break. I don't necessarily put 5 or 10-minute breaks between each class, because then that spreads it out longer, and then I don't get to spend as much time doing what I like to do. But I also don't want to have 8 hours straight, because you know, you have to go to the bathroom. So you know, you want to make sure that you set some breaks, but you're not required to set a certain number of minutes in between lessons. And set up rules for your availability. So there'll be options that say that they need to book a certain number of hours in advance or cancel a certain number of hours in advance. And the rules for your availability are again, it's subjective, whatever you think fits with you. If maybe, you know, for me, sometimes when I'm trying to book as many lessons as I can, I'll set it for 2 hours, where they have to give me that much notice. Or, you know, maybe if I'm more busy, I set it for 10 or 12 hours. The photos, like I said, extremely important. You want to make sure that the quality of the photo is good. It has natural light. That at least the photo, when I say natural light, it doesn't have to be the sunshine is shining directly at you. Some people have a ring light. Some people have good lighting in their home. Some people have, high quality photograph equipment that is great too. But you want it to look natural, not like you're, not as real as possible. And again, smiling, but with a professional vibe. And I think, again, that's so important in your profile photo. If you're a man wearing a collared shirt or, something that you would dress like you were at work. For a woman, dress like you're a teacher. Don't dress like you're going out for a night on the town. Dress the part. Of course, you don't want the quality of the photo to be low. You also don't want it to be too high. You don't want to have a super high res photo because that takes longer to load. So it should be somewhere around 1,000 pixels. If the lighting for the photo is insufficient, like this guy, you can only see half his face. And you would be, I've interviewed a lot of teachers in my life. I've gone through many profiles. You would be shocked to see how many people have a photo like this guy in the middle where you can't even see his face. It's an incredible amount. And also in their video, when they open up their camera, I look like I'm talking to I look like I'm talking to a person who's trying to hide their identity because it's so dark, and it's very important there in both. Don't have a very busy background. I have stuff in my background, but sometimes people try to have too many things and it's distracting, or it also just takes away from your face, which is what you want people to see in your profile photo. You want that to stand out. I try to shoot for around 70% of the photo to be my face and 30% to be the background, hopefully clear, plain. Also, I also use Canva. I don't know if any of you guys use that, but I find it incredibly useful. And it has a background remover. So you can take a photo that you've taken anywhere and you can add it in, and there's I don't know where exactly it is now, but
You need to open a file on one of your
Yeah.
projects and add a
yeah,
picture.
I won't go into all that, but anyhow, you can find the background remover. It's easy to find once you open up a photo in here. And so you can take any photo that you have that you like and remove the background and use that as your profile picture. So you don't even have to spend a lot of time taking the perfect picture. You might have one already. You can make a picture you've already taken perfect. And I do that a lot. Once you get booked, what's next? So you and your client are going to get an email from Workee saying that the student has booked your lesson. You want to make sure that you see that meeting in your calendar, because once it's in your calendar, it means someone else can't book that time. And you also want to make sure that you can link to it. So once you get that email, make sure everything is connected properly. Send a personal welcome message to the client. Super important. Say to them, hey, I saw you booked a trial lesson for April 27th. I'm really excited to meet you. Please let me know any information you'd like to share before the lesson. If not, we'll talk about it when I see you. Something like that is great. Just make that connection with them. I've found that when I make a connection with a student that booked the lesson, there's a far higher chance that that student's actually going to come to the trial lesson. Whereas if I don't connect with them before the lesson, there's a very good chance they become a no-show. To prepare for the meeting, again, this is subjective for everybody. However you prepare for your lessons, if you've been doing it for a long time, then you know what to do. If you're a new teacher, then you can use Workee AI. It's free. It can help you to plan that first lesson and any of your lessons in the beginning, and it's a good tool to get you started. But of course, in the future, you're going to want to learn how to create materials using applications such as Canva or other ways, other PowerPoint presentations, and you want to learn how to prepare for any meeting such as this. But Workee AI is a great tool that helps you do it without having to learn too much from the start, as many of the people in the Workee growth program will be new tutors. So it's a helping hand for them. Workee is going to send an email reminder 1 hour before the meeting to you and to the student. Hopefully, that student sees that reminder and they come to the lesson on time. If they do not, I usually send them a message and say, hi, I'm in the meeting now. Please let me know if you're able to join. If not, let me know how I can help. So I usually send them another message if I get there and they're not there. Sometimes they completely ignore that message and I never see them. Or sometimes they'll say, oh, yeah, I forgot about it. Just a moment. So don't give up on it just because they didn't show up right away. Sometimes they forget. Try to join the meeting. Sorry, go ahead.
Can I ask a question about that one? Apart from the free trials, are the students not, when they book, not the free trial, but the regular lessons, are they not required to like put in their payment before the meetings?
They pay before.
Okay, so
they pay before they, once they pay, I mean, frankly, if they don't come to the meeting, it doesn't really matter.
Okay, so we're just basically talking about the free trial. Okay,
yeah.
I may have missed that across.
This is for the free trial. Once a student pays, it's pretty rare that they don't show up to the lesson. But if they don't, it doesn't really matter because they've already paid for the lesson. Of course, when you work for different platforms, as I have many times over the years, if the student doesn't show up, then, or if you don't teach the lesson, you don't get paid. But that's the other great thing about working, going solo, such as this, is that once a student pays, you get the money, you get all the money. And if they decide that they no longer want to have lessons because anything happened, well, that's up to them. I do try to work with the students, of course, and if there's any issues or if they need to reschedule, I do my best. I'm not very strict, like, oh, sorry, can't help you, but it's entirely up to you. Joining the meeting about 5 minutes before is a good idea. But if you have 2 trial lessons in a row and can't do that, you do your best. Sometimes they book them back to back or closer than that. But if you're late for the meeting, then that's a really good way to set a poor tone for how things would go in the future. Just make sure you're on time. Like I was talking, with Ihor and Jen about before some other people joined, is a dedicated, well-organized workspace projects professionalism and boosts your credibility as an online tutor, said every potential student in history. I think that it's paramount in gaining new students and retaining students over time. If your workspace and professionalism, the way you dress, looks professional, if it looks like this is what you do for a living and that you look like you are worth the money that they are going to pay you or are already paying you, then they'll be happy to do so. If you look cheap, they're going to pay you cheap. If you look unprepared, they're not going to pay you at all. You know, you want your workspace to look like, I am a teacher. This is what I do here in this space. This is my job, not I'm doing this in between other things. And I think that's the best way to get new students. The key questions, and I left this open because not everybody's an English tutor. What are the specific goals for improving your, for me, English lesson? English. This uncovers the motivation, not just, I want my English to be better. You want to know exactly what it is that they want, and it allows you to demonstrate how you can help them reach those goals. You want to ask them what areas of, in this case, English, but it could be anything else, do you find most difficult? That helps you find their pain points and lets you tailor the lesson to address the specific problem. And I see I cut off some of the sentence there, but and then you want to get into that. This is one of the best questions, because then you start planning for when they're going to study. It takes you out of the theoretical of the, you know, what do you need to learn? How can I help you? Into how much time can you commit to studying each week? Start talking about the brass tacks, as we say, that okay, you want to study this day, and this day for this much time. Now you're getting into where you're selling them and the sales part of it, where you are making a plan for their future. Ask them what kind of learning style they prefer, and this helps you because you know, sometimes a student wants a lot of grammar drills, or a lot of, you know, focused on certain things where they want a lot of homework or practice. And sometimes students say, well, I just want to practice my conversational fluency. I want it to be more laid back and relaxing. It helps you to plan for them in the future if you make it clear in the beginning. So, you know, get that information first, and it'll help you later on. The 25-minute trial structure, for me personally, and this is, it depends on the student. The most important thing is that they like you. Don't sacrifice a good conversation and connecting with the student because you want to go through a specific a list of things to cover. If you're connecting with the student, you're smiling, you're happy, everyone's liking each other, you stick with that. You know, you're already doing the right thing. You don't want to force this. But ideally, you could have 1 or 3 minutes, a warm welcome. You know, ask them where they're from, what they do. Oh, you're from Chicago? Oh, you like Michael Jordan? Oh, I like the Chicago Bulls. Oh, you're from Taiwan? Oh, I've always wanted to go to Taiwan. I have a lot of students from Taiwan. I like boba tea, you know, something like, you know, make some sort of connection with them wherever they're from. And it helps to break the ice. And also, you know, it could just be what they do. Oh, you're a programmer? Oh, my cousin's a programmer. I never learned to do it myself, but I've always wanted to, you know, so something like that. 3 to 10 minutes. What are their goals and needs? And then a quick level assessment. For me personally, it depends on what the student wants. I teach people about accent and pronunciation. I might have them read through some sentences with me, and I'm going to assess maybe it's their intonation, stress, connected speech. Maybe they're mispronouncing things. And then I can, for the next few minutes, I can demonstrate to them how they can fix that problem. I can show them exactly what it is they need to improve and how they can improve it. If maybe it's conversational fluency, you might ask them, questions. What is your motivation? What do you like to collect? Tell me about your family's history. And then let them talk, and then point out that they're not using correct grammar, that they are maybe they're mispronouncing words. Maybe they are having difficulty finding the right words to say. I personally find that most students, their difficulty is they say that they know what they want to say, but they don't find the right words at the right time. And then later they're looking for the right words to say. So 9 times out of 10, if you said to them, "Is that your problem?" They'll say, "Yeah," because it almost always is. I also like to give maybe a homework assignment if possible, if that's what you do. But by homework, I mean just something that they need to do, which forces them to remember you after and start following through on future lessons. For pronunciation and accent, I have them record something short that I'll assign to them in an email, so that we can analyze it. If they're doing that after the class, you're going to see them again. If it's maybe it's a short quiz, or maybe it's whatever it may be, if they do it after and send it to you, there's a very huge chance that they're going to see you again. If they don't do it, they don't do it. But it's a pretty good way to make sure. And the last few minutes, I often say, is there anything else you'd like to ask me? Anything that you would, think you would like to add that we didn't cover? And if possible, I would try to get them to book the package right there. If you can do that, wonderful. I make sure we try to trade socials, or if you do that, if you have certain social media that you do share with students, like a YouTube page or something. But I always want to try to get either their WhatsApp, Line, WeChat, something. If you have something else that you can connect with them on aside from email, again, there's a really good chance that student's going to book lessons with you. And that's it. That's the tips that I have for the moment. Although, I'm sure that you guys might have some questions. Maybe I could share some more if anyone did have any questions.
Yeah, William, it was amazing and very nice information, especially I like second part when you're talking about how the lesson structure looks like, how you can ask questions, how you should catch the guy right during the trial.
Yeah.
So it was really very useful. Hope guys also enjoy this. Jennifer, Beksat, how do you like it? Any thoughts, any questions to William? Please go ahead.
Okay, first of all, I'd like to say hi. I'm sorry I arrived late, but thank you very much for the great information that I got. And no questions right now, actually.
Yeah, nice to meet you.
Yeah, you too, sir.
Beksat is calling today from Turkey. So he joined Workee relatively recently, but moving forward with this. So thank you, Beksat, for joining. Jennifer, how are you doing?
I'm pretty good.
Thoughts, any questions?
Yeah, thank you for sharing your experience. I have one question more on you, William, right?
Yes. Yeah.
How long have you, I know that you said you're one of the first group who one of the first ones who joined the growth part. How long have you been with it? And so far, can you share us your experience as far as you probably have, but something that you have not included in the from when you transition into growth, or have you always been growth in the first place?
No, I mean, for me, it may be a little bit different. I had students that sort of came with me from other places, and I was working on trying to promote it myself and building my own, building everything alone in the beginning. And then after talking to Ihor, he mentioned that he was planning something like growth, like Workee Growth. I don't even know if it had the name yet at the time. It was only a couple months ago, but he mentioned to me that he was planning on doing that and asked if I wanted to be one of the first people to try it out. And I said, yeah, definitely. And so I did, and then they announced Workee Growth now just recently. So I got a chance to try it out first. I think it's great. I think that, like I said, it's optional, right? It's if if you want to, as a new teacher in general, years ago, a new online teacher, this would have been extremely beneficial. I would have been so excited to be using it, honestly. Since I have some more experience now, it's still really helpful. But for someone who's just starting out, getting paying customers and becoming a paid online teacher is, that's invaluable.
Yeah, I agree. Thank you for sharing that.
Yeah, just maybe to highlight who's the target audience for Workee Growth Plan. So we know that some of you guys, you already been tutoring before, and you have your students that are following you, and hopefully Workee will be your base platform, since the whole business model around Workee is built in a way so you can create your personal website, right? Connect your personal payments and just grow your experience. We will provide you with support. We also considering launching support for social media, because we know that a lot of tutors, they gain followers, and then followers became students. So we also see that you guys, you need to continue growing business, offering new products, and are allowed to see how our customers, they have boot camps, maybe some workshops. They also have clients, students. They also have clients as a company. So some of our tutors, they also provide services and lessons, coaching sessions to companies, which is great. So this is great. This is also a great product, and the idea behind, right? So you can become independent and just grow your brand around this. And but same time, majority of people, they're just starting tutoring, so you don't know where to start, you don't know what to offer, how to sell. That's why we created this Workee Growth Plan. It will help you to start. We'll provide you with support, we'll help you to set up your account, and we will bring you first customers. And after that, you have your customers, you are very welcome to continue using Workee, but just already directly with our subscription plans. That is unlike to any other marketplace that highly restrict you to doing something like this. Because all tutors who we have currently at Workee, they came to Workee from other marketplaces, because they already have students and they restrict them to be independent. And same time, unlike them, we push you to be independent. We want you to succeed, right? Because when you succeed, you can build your business, you can offer more services, and we can also support you in many other ways. So I guess that's the main mindset we have at Workee. Yeah, definitely nothing is easier for us as for relatively young company. It's a lot of challenges we coming through, but we keep going. We bring new products, new features, and we're really excited about the future.
Yeah, great. Thank you very much. Thank you for the opportunity, and we really appreciate it. Everything is really good, especially today's lesson. I really enjoyed it. Thank you very much. And I missed the first 10 to 15 minutes of that, but if you'd be kind enough to send it to me, I'm going to have a look
Absolutely.
at it and definitely watch it 1 or 2 times.
Yeah, absolutely. I'll make sure we'll send recordings to you guys so you can have this as your worksheet always to refer to this. Please go ahead and make sure you have your Workee account ready to go. And after that, just reach out to me and we will take it from there.
Okay, yeah, sure. I don't know. I made some changes. Or I don't know if you had a look at it to see whether or not everything is cool there. I tried to change one of the pictures on my website, but it was not possible. I don't know why. Maybe I'll contact you later and ask
please,
you why I couldn't. Yeah.
Yeah, please go ahead and send me email. I'll be happy to take a look. And yeah, by the way, we
sure.
also prepared banners for
Yeah.
you, so we ready to start.
Yeah, thank you so much. Sure.
Cool.
And also
Okay,
one
guys.
quick question.
Go ahead.
Can I just one quick question? I have a subscription right now with Workee. While on growth, should I suspend the subscription or just keep it for now? I don't know.
You can keep it. You can keep it. We will make changes on our backend, so nothing is required from your side.
Sounds good. All right, thank you.
Cool. Okay, William, it was amazing masterpiece. So thank you so much for bringing this energy and this experience, skills to the team, to me especially. Hopefully, you also had a chance to learn something, maybe because it's when you teach something is the best way to learn something, right?
Yeah,
So
I agree.
Thank you for being with us.
Thank you.
Yeah, and we really appreciated to have you with Workee. So yeah, let's keep it going. And I wish you guys have wonderful rest of the week. And let's keep in touch.
Yeah, thank you. Nice
sure.
to
Thank
meet
you.
you
Thank
all.
you, everyone. Thank you, William. Thank you, Ihor. And yeah, hope to see you later.
Thank you. See you later, guys. Have a good one. Bye-bye.
See you.
Bye.
Goodbye. Goodbye.